it's been described that the relationship between a human and an AI agent in Marimo Pair, it's kind of like a new kind of contract, not between programs, but between a runtime and a model that reads documentation. And in that, the notebook is like a working memory for the agent to work with.
Yeah, so Marimo Pair is like on maybe a little bit on the technical side. It's implemented as a skill, and a skill like is a set of sort of a folder of markdown files that teaches an agent like how to use a tool.
For sure. And I think a lot of us would probably get exposure to that through, say, even if you're in the Claude user interface, like not even in Claude Code, not even in some kind of Claude agentic experience, but just being in the regular Claude in your browser. Now, a lot of the time, if you upload a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF, you'll see as the model is thinking, it'll output something like, reading the skill for opening a PowerPoint file or for reading a PDF.
Yeah, so if you have the Marimo skill installed and you say, you're like, oh, I want to pair on this notebook, or I want to work on a Marimo notebook, that should trigger the skill to get loaded in a very similar way. And then that skill teaches the agent like how to start up Marimo. And then once it's started, or to connect to an existing Marimo session that you might already have, once that session is running, then how to execute Python code living inside of that Marimo runtime. And that's really the piece where we have this like programmatic access point. So you have this, like with traditional software, you normally have like APIs that have to talk to one another. And in this case, we have a model that's like talking to some APIs that we have hidden inside of Marimo for the model. And it's a much different type of software because the agent discovers what is available for it to use inside the Marimo notebook. And it's not as strict of a contract. So if we change APIs between releases, like the model will just figure out what it has to do and correct and figure out how to do things inside the notebook. And you'll just, if you upgrade Marimo, you'll just get more capabilities because we've improved like how that works inside the runtime. So it's been a very different type of software to work on because of this boundary between, like, normally you'd have to worry about semantic versioning and things like that. And in this case, it's just, we just have the skill. It says, hey, look here, here's where all the tools live inside Marimo. When you load it, figure out what you can do. And then with that, the agent is able to do things on the user's behalf inside the notebook.
Yeah, it's borderline magical and wild. It's, my grandparents with their Jupyter notebook experience when they were growing up, they would never have imagined that we'd have this kind of scenario. Even thinking about skills, I feel like they're now everywhere. And 2 months ago, maybe I'm a bit of a dinosaur myself. I think maybe 2 months ago, I had never heard of this skill concept. And now I see it everywhere in so many AI interactions. Obviously, anything involving an agent, it seems like it's become a really helpful approach, an almost magical approach for making it easy to have an agent work with a Marimo notebook. And so since you were working on this, developing that skill integration with agentic capabilities, do you remember like when this whole skill movement started and how it happened?
Yeah, I think I might have been a little bit late to it as well. I think the shift in my experience with like these coding agents happened around November last year with like Opus 4.6, like from Anthropic.
I think 4.6 came out in February though.
Okay. Maybe
it might have been 4.5.
4.5, yes.
Yeah.
It was around last fall, and I think I've heard many people comment on this before, but like the industry kind of went like dark for the holidays, but then everyone came back in January and was like, okay, these models have gotten pretty good.
Definitely.
And then I think with that, the introduction of skills, or it started to feel like there was a lot more value in spending time writing up these skills such that it's a very high impact way to share like processes across like your team, or, very specific bespoke types of ways of working with a set of code that maybe before you'd put in a file that people had to really read or like share amongst your team. It's like, maybe I can package that up as a skill. And now like everyone can just download the skill and kind of get up to speed with things. And but I had not been using that many skills in like my day to day. And then when we started trying to think about what's this new experience for how we want our users to work with Marimo, skills seemed like a pretty good fit. And then I found that through working on Marimo Pair, I started building the muscle of like, okay, if I'm repeating myself to my agent, maybe that's something that should belong in a skill, and building up the muscle memory of when something goes wrong, going and updating the skill, not just like yelling at the model and telling it did something wrong.